name is Beck and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So, I've been listening to the Big Finish, Time Lord Victorious, He Kills Me, He Kills Me Not. So, Time Lord Victorious is the much-vaunted multi-platform story, epic story that is supposed to excite us all. And it's, I think we're about a third the way in right now, and it is not going well. It is not going well. I would say it's a damp squib. I would say it's entirely missable. It's entirely missable. So far, I've read the Titan Comics range, which is completely disconnected from it. You know, you can avoid that completely and not miss anything. It doesn't add anything new to it. It's beyond me what they were thinking. Then you got we've had these two master stories, which are pretty good. Listen, I think they were more notable from having John Colcher do the Delgado Master and the Alien Master. That's the only reason I really got them. And now we started the Big Finish audios. We got the book came out. Which is kind of short from what I heard, but that has the first half of the story, and the Uma McCormick book, I guess, is going to have the second part. It's just like, forget it, missable, because this is not very good. This is not very good. I went into it reasonably, this release, reasonably prejudiced. I want to be as open and honest as I can, because I don't want to sway you in the wrong direction. For no reason. I don't want to do that. So we're going to get the review. It's a miss. It's a strong miss, much like most of the Time Lord Victorious. This is a stronger miss than most. Also, I'm halfway through reading the Doctor Who magazine comic strip with the Ninth Doctor and vampires. Whatever. Time Lord Victorious in general is a miss. It's a miss. So we're going to be doing a review of the story. Which actually, this is the one I had the highest hopes for outside the Master two-story ones. This is what I had the highest hope for. And not looking good at all. Okay, but before we get into it, can I ask you guys, can you hit the like button? Can you hit the share button? Mostly, can you gently and lovingly caress that subscribe button? Thank you so much. Can you hit the subscribe button? I'm like 15, 20 people away from getting 1,800 subscribers, which is a number that I want to reach. So can you help me out with that? That'll be really fan-dabby, double dozy. Of course, if you do subscribe, you can enter my ongoing competitions. This week, the prize is 2 graphic novels. You get Shakara, this like bonkers black and white with like a splash of red in it. See, every time I open a page, it's always a black and white page. You get this bonkers black and white thing with a splash of red in it. With lots and lots of species being wiped out, one after the other. Humanity being one of the first. And you also get this thing, Red Razors, a spin-off from Just Red, with the Russian judge who is a It's a lobotomized street thug turned into a judge killing machine with his partner Comrade Ed, genetically engineered talking horse, as they're on the hunt for Elvis's corpse. Basically, that's what you need to know. There's lots of fun. All you need to do to win them is subscribe to the channel, subscribe, and in the comments leave the hashtag Zarjazz. Go check the video notes down there, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. Also, I'll put in the video notes as a link to a review video I did of those two graphic novels, so you get a more fuller idea if you are so inclined to find out about them. Okay, so saying I wouldn't be so... Oh, and we'll do the prize draw on Sunday the 18th when I'm on the TARDIS Zone, and we're going to be doing a watch-along of Gridlock, one of my favourite David Tennant stories. It really is one of my favourite David Tennant stories. Fine, so let's talk about the story. He Kills Me, Kills Me Not. It's a Paul McGann story. It's essentially to introduce the character of Brian the Ood, this Ood assassin who they're very excited about, and basically set up McGann so he can end up with the Daleks in the next story. So he can end up with a fleet of Daleks at the end of the book, the Juggler, the King, whatever it is, at the end of that one, to stop the David Tennant's Time Lord Victorious, who's trying to kill off the Keturah, this species that create death or something like that. By the way, the Keturah, you got a really good introduction to in the in the short trip story with John Colshaw and the Alien Master called Lesser Evils. That's one of the strongest parts so far of Time Lord Victorious. That one story, that 40 minutes. This one is not so good. So okay, something I was nervous about is all the writers on these ones are untested, untried, first time female writers. So if you are going to hire people based on identity, it becomes very, very obvious, right? It isn't be like, oh, no. Listen, I mean, I understand the makeup of when I was a kid, the makeup of males to females watching Doctor Who was like 80% male, 20% female, maybe more, maybe like 15% female, 85%. It was like mainly, predominantly male. And I understand with the revived era, that's probably closer to 50-50. It could be 60-40. I do not know the demographics. I don't know demographics, but that's what the reason why you've had predominantly male writers throughout the history of Doctor Who is mainly because it predominantly appealed to men. So let's say that changed, it's 50-50. You would still expect there to be some kind of gender balance in all these writers. None of this will be a problem at all if they could pull out the goods. If they could, and so often they can't. I'm afraid. I'm still stung by the last month, monthly release. What was it the Flying Dutchman? The absolute worst release Big Finish has ever put out that I listened to, and I listened to just about all of them. It's absolutely terrible. It's riddled with 2020 insane ideological agenda and a very, very weak story that's wrapped around it. It just didn't. It's awful. It's awful. So yeah, again, listen, I don't run to call anybody a diversity hire, and I don't think Carrie Thompson is. She's got a decent background in horror and writing horror. This story just doesn't really work for me. Okay, so it doesn't work, and so I went into it with the expectation that I might not like it, but then I went in because again the blanket hiring of only women writers, only female writers. But I really wanted to go into it with an open mind as well. I didn't want to write it off without giving it a fair chance, because I just don't. So I try my best to go with open mind, and a lot of the problems with this release are not in the script. I mean, the script itself, the story itself is just. The problem was I thought of a better story as I was listening to that would do the job far, far better. So the story is. Obviously, there is a couple. I was going to say, obviously, there's a couple on the run from Brian the Ood, and obviously they're a lesbian couple, because there are no straight couples anymore in the universe. It is impossible for anybody to be heterosexual in the universe. I don't know how the future generations reproduce. They must do it by some kind of test tube baby thing, because nobody's actually having normative heterosexual relations and having a baby. No one's doing that anymore in the future. So that was the first so incredibly tired trope. It was so incredibly tired trope that I'm bored out of my mind. I rolled my eyes. I'm like, fine, I'll put up with it, whatever. And they're being pursued by Brian the Ood, who has been commissioned to kill one and return the other one to her father. Apparently, is a genetically engineered daughter who's supposed to be perfect, but she ran out. Whatever. I'm going to spoil the crap out of this, because don't bother buying it. Do not bother buying it. So they end up on this western kind of town, this like cowboy kind of town. In the middle of nowhere, this like shanty town in the middle of nowhere. This planet's supposed to be this big, water world with all these incredible things in it, and time has changed. So, and McGann talks about that a little bit. But we're stuck with like the planet of the fake American accents. Did they not learn anything from Minuet in Hell? Minuet in Hell was it the fourth McGann story they ever did, which they did exactly the same thing. They were on planet of the bad American accents. Like, what are they thinking? Now on the making of extras, two of the cast members were American, but they were men, and so the male characters are generally speaking, other than Silas Carson, who played the Ood, are generally relegated to the to the backwaters, to the side, to the supporting characters, and generally speaking, not not really that focused on. It's all about the stunning and brave, kick-ass women of the future who are all lesbians, and I assume they're gender fluid as well, because that's just the reality Big Finish lives in. And so essentially, Paul McGann gets caught up in this, and that's how he ends up meeting Brian the Ood, and it's just, it's okay. It's a love-torn romance sci-fi western. That's essentially what it is. It didn't really work. It's like the story was. I give the story a 5 out of 10. It's not terrible. I give the accents like a 0 out of 10. They're terrible. Again, one of the main characters, her accent is completely unconvincing, and even the Americans who are in it, they increase their accents completely unconvincing. Here's what they should have done. Okay, here's what they should have done in my mind. They should have had the Doctor at the end of a venture about to stop some evil dictator or some villain doing something, confront him, and just as he's about to capture him, Brian the Ood shows up and murders him in front of the Doctor, leaving the Doctor to want to investigate Brian the Ood, and so there's this cat and mouse across time, space, and the galaxy as they try and find each other, and that would have been a story that actually would have kind of worked. It would have drawn me in. This, not so much at all. So, basically and it's very obvious. It's very obvious that everything was resolved. Everything was written so it can resolve with the ending of where it is that Brian the Ood is somewhere in the time-space vortex after jumping into being sucked into the vortex with the Doctor, and the Doctor ends up with the Daleks who tried to get the Daleks who tried to get David Tennant's Doctor to help them in the Titan book set. And he left her. And they said, "It's okay, we will get another Doctor." And they show a picture of the McGann Doctor, who they use the wrong costume. They use the wrong costume. They show a picture of him from the movie, not from Night of the Doctor, as is on the cover. Listen, it's I'll read the blurb for you. On a desert world of Athena, the Doctor's life is about to be changed forever. It doesn't really feel that way. Looking into one of the 700 wonders of the universe, he quickly is embroiled in a web of deceit. Worse than that, this wonder of the universe is missing. That's the other thing. This Doctor is like, he starts to eventually think, oh, what fun thing am I going to look at today? It just didn't really work. I'm sorry. And the Doctor is about to encounter one of his most dangerous and duplicitous adversaries. Didn't really come across that. Like, again, Silas Carlson as Brian was good. The character of Brian was good, but that was something clearly not written by Carrie Thompson. Yeah, everything that she didn't write, like the ending and the character of Brian the Ood, was pretty darn good. Everything she did write, the love story on the backwater western planet, kind of just a bit crap, really. It's a bit crap. And so you get so basically you get something that's sub gunfighters level, sub. It's about, I would say it's worse than Minuet. Like, what were they thinking with those actors? So this one is a hard pass. It is not good. It is not worth your time. I'm going to call it now, the entirety of Time Lord Victorious. Not worth your time. If you're interested, the master audio is pretty good. That's like $4.99. This is not worth it. I'm not looking forward to the next one. And really, it's such a shame. This has been a good idea, mishandled. I think you can say pretty much the same about Doctor Who in general. It's a good idea, mishandled by the BBC. My name is Sheila Beckett, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when you...